Let's go to the 80s and the 90s for a second. Do you remember BET's Rap City? Or what about BET's Teen Summit? Kick the truth to the young black youth. That means you were around and you definitely remember this one, Video Soul. Some good news on this one right here.
It's Video Soul.
All right, so you know it's rude when you enter a room and you do not speak. Our elders taught us much better than that. So, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. But I know you're really here to chat about Video Soul, and so am I. So let's go ahead and do it. So you saw the thumbnail, you read the title, you heard my little intro, and you're here because you are just as excited, if not more, as I was when I read the announcement on Twitter for the return of Video Soul. So for the babies in the room, if you're a baby, it's okay. We're going to do a quick music television history lesson for you. Before there was a Terrence J. and a Roxy, and for us older cats and kittens, before there was even Free and AJ, the original pioneers of 106 and Park, by the way. Okay, clear. There was Donnie Simpson and Sherry Carter on BET's Video Soul. Now, if you're like me, you grew up in the 80s or the 90s and you loved R&B, soul music, this was the show you watched for your top 20 countdown of the hottest R&B out at the time and the hottest R&B artists. And no, we didn't just watch this show for the songs. We watched it for the vibe. It was a whole vibe. It was giving vibe. The intimate conversations between Donnie and Sherry on the sofa, interviewing some of our favorite artists. Plus, we watched for the music videos. Now, I don't know if you realize this, but around about the 80s and the 90s, there was no such thing as social media. We didn't have it back then. So we relied on music videos to stay current and up to date on the latest fashion and hair trends. That is how we got our drip back in the day. This music show gave us that. And what you probably didn't know, all my 80s and 90s crew that watched this show, it started back in 1981, but Donnie was not the original host of this show. Can you believe that? It was actually a guy named Virgil. That sounds like an old school name, right? Virgil Hemphill. And for the life of me, I searched high and low on these and in these internet streets, and I could not find not near picture of this person. He went by Reverend El Dorado. And when I tell you I searched high and low and there just ain't one, and I wonder why that is. There has to be some type of BET backstory to why there's not one picture or video of this person, but I digress. But he was only there for a short time anyway, there for a good time, not a long time, because within a few years of its launch, the show grabbed its forever host, that gorgeous man that we know with the light eyes, those green eyes, Mr. Donnie Simpson. Now, I would have to say, out of all of the BET VJs, that's video jockey if you don't know, on all of their shows, Donnie Simpson has to be the most notable. And he was there for the duration of the show until it wrapped in 1997. But the show did have other hosts. Just like I said, Sherry Carter, the beautiful Sherry Carter was a host. Sheila Banks, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kenya Moore was a host. And if you ask me, I think Kenya Moore and Donnie Simpson could be twinning, right? Fraternal twins, brother, sister, some type of relation. They look alike. Brett Walker and Big Les. But Donnie, out of all of them, Donnie is synonymous with Video Soul, right? And he's had other successful endeavors and accolades throughout his career. He was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. He has Donnie After Dark, which began airing on TV One. And then he relaunched Donnie Simpson's Video Soul, which premiered back in 2021 on Tubi. Same adult R&B format. And those same great interviews with some of our favorite artists that they gave us back in the 90s. And a lot of R&B artists that are on tour right now, you know, this is the year of the comeback for a lot of 80s and 90s R&B groups. A lot of those artists that are on tour right now from back in the day sat on the sofa and chatted, interviewed with Donnie Simpson and Sherry Carter on Video Soul. So it's wonderful that it's coming back. And not only that, it's back on BET, or kind of BET adjacent. It's on BET Plus starting June 1st, which is their streaming service. But you know what? You never know. It could get a permanent spot on the network channel if the ratings are good. So that means we have to do our part and watch it. Or if one of these power players that's vying for that majority stake in BET, if they land that majority stake, Donnie Simpson has an actual running chance of getting his spot back on the actual network. He might get it because that music show definitely was a hit. Definitely a hit. Did it hit for you? Because it definitely hits. I'll see you in the next one.